Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on African Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received. The first message, it reads like this. Hello, Brother Nash, how are you? I am a man that is currently staying here in South Africa, but I do come from Zim, and there are some things that I am facing in my life. I am always having these dreams and these scary visions. I would be walking with my grandfather who gave birth to my father. I am always walking with him, and when I am walking with him, he starts to show me all of the people that he killed during those years when there was a war that was happening in our country, and he reveals it to me that he used to be a ritualist. Even if it was a child, he would not even hesitate to grab that child. If he would see that the parents, they are not around, he would take that child and he would go with the child into the mountains and do evil things to the child, and then he would sacrifice the child and he would eat the flesh of that child. I always see him in my dreams, in the visions, as he would be busy eating the flesh of the people that he would have kidnapped and go with them into the mountains, as well as many graves. And all the graves that I see, they are the graves of the people that he sacrificed. My grandfather, he used to be someone that was well known. He was a well-known farmer in the village where I come from. I do come from a village that is in Mutoko, that is close to the Mozambican border, and he was well known in our province as a very big farmer. And I always see my grandfather like revealing it to me that he was a big farmer because of the rituals that he used to perform. He had this other plant that he had planted in his garden, which he was using. So all of these terrible dreams and terrible nightmares that I have been having, they all started after I had a conversation with one of my uncle, who is the last one that is remaining in the family. This uncle of mine, he is the one that is the firstborn and is the only one that is remaining. He was older than my own father. So I have come here. I want your listeners to assist me. Am I supposed to do the things that he wants me to do? I have already done some of these things anyway, and I'm scared, and I suspect that the visions that I have been having, it is because of the things that my uncle forced me to do. So my uncle, when he heard that I was returning back to Zim, he then gave me an instruction and he said, I heard that you just want to come to the border and then you return back to South Africa to work. And I said yes. He then said, I want you to come to Mutoko. Please make sure that you do come. I want to see you whilst I am still alive. You remember that you are the only boy that is remaining in the family. And I said, yes, uncle, I know that I am the only boy that is still remaining in the family. He then said, please, when you come, make sure that when you come, you are going to see me whilst I am still alive, because there is something that is very important that has to do with the family that I have to share with you before you return back to South Africa. And I said, okay. So I got onto the bus. I did whatever that I wanted when I was at the border. And when I wanted to return back to South Africa, I then said, you know, when an elderly person in your family, when they have told you that they just want to see you before they die, maybe they know that maybe they are about to die. Let me go and see my uncle so that I can hear about these secrets that he wants to tell me about our family. So I then went to Mutoko, but I was disappointed with my uncle, because the time when I arrived in the village in Mutoko, I then went to his compound and I asked his wife, where is uncle? And when I asked his wife where my uncle was, then she told me that her husband had crossed over into Mozambique. And I was like, how is it possible that a man can tell you to travel from South Africa to return back home, yet now you have traveled back home, and then you tell me that your husband is in Mozambique? Was he just trying to play mind games with me. So then my auntie told me to wait. So I said, okay, let me wait for him just for a couple of days. Then I returned back to work to South Africa. Even my boss, he had given me only 4 days. He said, in the next 4 days, I want you to be here in South Africa. So I was under pressure. I then said, since there are a lot of gods that go into the garden just to push time whilst I am waiting for my uncle, let me go and fix the wire at the garden. So the day that he came back from Mozambique, I was by the garden and he knew that that was where I was. My uncle then came and then we started to talk. He told me that he had gone to speak with some of our relatives that are in Mozambique. And I said, oh, we have relatives that are in Mozambique. And he said, yes, don't you know that your grandfather, my father, he came from Mozambique? And I said, it is impossible. We are Zimbabweans, 100% Zimbabweans. And he said, no, your grandfather, he came from Mozambique and he came and he started to do his farming here in Zimbabwe. And I said, no, I never knew that this was what happened. And then he told me that in the bag, he had this other school bag that he was carrying. And he told me that he had a plant. This plant, he had brought it with him from Mozambique, and he told me that this plant was the one that was being used by my grandfather when he was still alive, and this plant was the reason as to why he had managed to become such a big farmer in our province. And he wanted me as the only boy that is in the family, the eldest one in the family, to get that plant from him. So I got it, because in our culture, when someone that is older than you, when they tell you something, you have to do that without asking a lot of questions. So I took it from him and he directed me and he said, you see in that corner? And I said, yes, that is where I want you to plant the plant that he had. I then started digging. After I was done digging, then he said, I want you to water the plant. And I did as he had instructed me to do. Then I returned back to South Africa. I did not even think anything much about it. And when I returned back to South Africa, that was when I started to have all of these weird dreams that I have been made into a ritualist. I need advice from your listeners. What I have been thinking about is that I have been thinking about telling my mother and some of my relatives that these are the things that my uncle forced me to do. When you post my story, please tell me. I'll be following through in the comment section. My uncle said that if I listen to my grandfather, all the things that he is telling me, I am going to become one of the richest men. And when I return back to Zim, I am going to be flying using a helicopter. That is how much money I am going to be having, money that will just come out of nowhere. So I need advice from your listeners. When you post my story, please tell me. I will be following through in the comment section. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. Let us try to speak with our brother in the comment section. Strange things indeed, they do happen in this world. What if your uncle is the one that is a ritualist? Maybe your uncle, he wants you to take these things from him. Maybe your grandfather was not even a ritualist. He is just manipulating you. But let us assist our brother in the comment section. Then there is another story that was sent to me by one of our admin. The message that was sent to me by our admin, it reads like this. Hey, this is what you have thought of doing. Let me also bring my own story. I have been keeping this in my heart. You see, there is this other lady that I used to work for. This lady, she was a Ghanian woman. I started knowing this lady through this other friend of mine. When I did not have money, like things were so tough during those years, I would go to her salon. She had a salon, a very nice one, but she was working for someone else. another guy who was Nigerian. So what they used to do was that, since in the suburbs where this salon was, you would get a lot of customers. For each and every customer, you will give that Nigerian guy something, because the salon was at his house. So I would go there if I wanted my hair to be done. So whenever I would go there, I would always speak with other people, usually the people that have money. You see, most of the foreigners that we know that stay in the location, they are broke, they have nothing. Most of the foreigners that are rich, you won't even know that they are in South Africa, and most of them, they can live in South Africa for years without even having anything, because of the way that they are rich. Everything is done for them. Some of them, they don't even go out shopping. That is how rich this lady was. She could only go out mostly if she wanted to, like if she just wanted to have fresh air, then she will come to the salon. So I became good friends with her. What I did not know about this lady was that she was someone that was into women. I really do not know if she had been hurt too much or what was going on in her love life, but she was into dating women only. She then proposed love to me. I was even shocked one day when I went to see my friend. So my friend was like, yo, I'm busy today. Maybe we can just chill and relax, because my friend knew that she will do my hair for free. So then this woman then said, come on, do her hair, I'm going to pay you. So after the styling, then the lady also had a hair styled, and she said, wait for me so that I can just drop you off in town. And when we got into the car, she was driving a black BMW X5. She then started touching my thighs. I was like, hey, what kind of touching is this? She just laughed at me and she said, I'm like a boy, don't you see even the way that I wear? And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, you are into that. Okay, I'm not going to judge you. Then she started proposing love to me. I agreed. You know why I agreed? She said, if you become my girlfriend, I am going to be giving you money each and every day. And I was like, wow, this is so amazing. This lady here is saying that if I just become her girlfriend, she's going to be giving me something. And what is she going to do to me? These guys that I date in the location, they use you all night long, and then they don't give you even 2 rand the next day. I did not even know that these lesbian women, they have toys, big toys, that when they sleep with you, you will cry. You won't eat that money for free. So we started dating, and I was nervous about it. And then the night came when we were supposed to sleep with each other. It was so weird, because she would wear this big black thing that she would be wearing, and she will do me with that thing. Somehow I would enjoy. But before I started enjoying, I still remember that she would put a ring. It was a beautiful ring that she kept in this other safe, and she would put it on my forehead. The moment that she would put that ring on my forehead, then I'll start to feel like I really want her inside me, if you know what I mean. Yet she was a woman. She would drive me so crazy when she would be just looking at me. So as time went on, she then told me that she had a school. Oh, this was like a creche that she had. I did not know that this woman, she was a she-devil. She was demonic, that woman. But still, even there were times when I would always feel something weird when I was sleeping over at her house. Like when you go to bed, the moment that she sleeps, you can't fall asleep, because you would be feeling as if there is someone that is standing close to the bed. And I made this a rule. Whenever I was at her place, I would refuse to sleep on the bed unless if we pushed the bed to the corner. Because what would happen if I sleep on the right side and she would say, let us do cuddling, like we are facing each other, I would feel that there is someone that is standing behind me, and I was always scared. And if I turn around, I will see a shadow that will just disappear. And when I would ask her about this, she'll say, you're just imagining things. So I would force her to push the bed to a corner so that I can sleep in the corner with my back against the corner so that I can face whatever that would want to attack me in the middle of the night. This lady, she would cry throughout the night. These people that you call Satanist, they do not have rest at all. The woman would be crying throughout the night. Later, she confessed to me that she sacrificed her entire family when she was in Ghana. She first came to South Africa and she returned back to her country where she did those rituals because she saw that her creche, it was not going according to the way that she thought that the business was going to boom and she was going to get a lot of kids attending at her creche. So she did those rituals and she said that the ashes that belonged to her mother, wow, Brother Nashim, I don't even know where to start with this story. The ashes that was the body of her mother, she brought those ashes with her to South Africa. And when they were busy renovating, because she bought an entire house, when they renovated, they built some other classrooms. Then at the foundation, she buried the ashes that once belonged to the mother. And the kids that were going to that creche, they would always experience demonic possession. You know why? It is because when they would be playing around, they would be playing on top of the ashes of a dead person. Some of them, they would not even sleep at night, crying, having nightmares, because if the child had a spiritual gift, it will connect and the child will start to see some things that are so scary for him or for her. Yet, because they are a child, they won't be able to tell like the parent that this is what I am seeing. Something is happening in the spiritual realm. The more that we got together, the more she felt comfortable in telling me like everything, until she finally revealed it to me that at her creche, like they can even have meetings. Those satanic people that stay around the neighborhood where the creche was, they go to the creche at night. Sometimes they look around. She said they would be holding flashlights and they would be looking around in the classrooms to pick up the hair of the kids. Like if your child shed some hair, then they would pick it up no matter how small it is, and they will use it to steal the destinies of those kids. One day she took me to that creche. It was late at night. She said that she wanted me to see everything that she does so that I stop begging for money each and every time. We went there, it was around 10 p.m. When we arrived there, we saw that there was an old lady that was sitting by this other swing where the children would be playing. That lady, she was wearing dark clothes and she was scary as hell. She got out of the vehicle and I said, I'm not gonna remain behind in the car. What if this thing comes into the car? So I was holding her and I was standing behind her. I was so scared. She then walked towards that thing. The mother did not even have a face. I did not see the face of that woman. And then she gave that woman blood, and that woman drank the blood, and we returned back to her house. She gave me money. On my birthday in that same year, she bought for me a car, but I kept on feeling guilty knowing that she was running a satanic creche. Like, I really do not know how I can help parents, but as for me, I said I can't take my child to a creche unless if my child will start to talk, because some of the things that she told me, the things that they did with these little ones, those ones that will still be crawling, that won't be able to talk or to say anything, those were the ones that they would use at night in their rituals. And I would always feel so scared whenever she would tell me these things, but I benefited money from this lady. She was taking care of me like no man had ever done. Dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear sister. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world. She's saying that there was a satanic creche in Joburg. If you have ever worked in any of those schools where you see that there were things that were happening in a crash, wherever, even a clinic, you can just come. Even like if it's a company, you can come and then you can share with us your story, some of the things that were happening, then I can share with everyone else. Our sister is saying that she does not advise anyone to take a child that does not know how to speak yet to a crash. Do you agree or you do not agree? You can tell me what you think in the comment section.